winner-takes-it-all syndrome has characterized the nation's politics since independence. Therefore, those that win elections should have a large heart to accommodate all. The practice of winner-takes-all has continually to affect the nation's entrenchment of democratic ideals. If the country is to move forward, opinions from others should be considered by the ruling government after the election. The winner-takes-it-all syndrome in politics has made the Nigerian political environment a very tough and dangerous option. The syndrome is responsible for tension build-up and complications in unemployment and poverty rate in the country. It's unfortunate that elections in the country often turn violent with undesirable outcomes. Every election must have a winner, and those aggrieved by the outcome should seek a redress through legitimate and legal means. Nigerians should toe in the line of peace to ensure development of the country. Post-election challenges in the country have bearings with poverty, unemployment and inequality amongst other ills. Post-election challenges in Nigeria include economic, social, political and cultural challenges as well as a low Human Development Index. Human Development Index is the indicator of sustainable development. It is a summary that measures for assessing long-term progress in three basic elements of human development: a long and healthy life, access to knowledge, and a decent standard of living. The government should address the challenges of the right type of development. The political elite, career politicians, and all other rent-seeking stakeholders must manage their greed. There is enough to meet everyone's need, but there can never be enough to meet everybody's greed. It is agreed that system and institutional failure are responsible for post-election challenges. It is also argued that elections, though a struggle for political power, the operators and political gladiators must play by the rules. In every contest, there must be a winner, while losers must equally ensure peace by pursuing their mandate legally. In conclusion, the winners of the forthcoming 2023 elections should be magnanimous in victory and strive to meet the expectations of the electorate.
Welcome back. What a mini feature or a topic. That's what our guest was trying to move in, about the problems of development. Somebody will come because he is coming from the opposite side. Whatever the other one has done is nothing. It becomes a PhD. He pulls the thing down and of course starts to build on his own. When another person comes, he pulls this one down and start building on his own. Then where can we have development? Because of the problem of winner takes all. Since I'm the governor, since I'm the president, then I will deal with anybody. There must be accommodation. We must accommodate each other. And I guess because Nigeria needs all hands to be on deck. Just like I said, he's going to elaborate on that, which you have seen some of us who have traveled out of this country. You see development in some countries, and you see how it is happening. It's because all of them cooperate to ensure that there is the development comes in. Not that because somebody is in government and some people are trying to bring in some ideas and they will now be threatened. Sometimes they will tell people like us too, as activists. You see those in government in sometimes, particularly during the military era, they will say that we are busybodies, and they start running up and down, arresting, jailing us and all. But be that as it may, we will still get there, and I know it's going to be better. Any text for us?
No, they keep calling. Please do not call. Just send a message to the number. Thank you.
Just send messages, please. Your name and where you are calling from, you are sending your message from. That's all. We'll read your message. Don't worry. We know you want to participate. There is time for everything. This era now is for you to type and send your message. We will do the reading for you. When it is time for you to call, we'll let you know. Because this thing is going to be a broad-based program. Just relax. That's what you are saying. And before we go on, I want you to know, tell your people that Voters Forum is on ground. It's the light of politics. And you must be involved, because that's why we'll be teaching you. With our Bonga Oga here, you need to be educated. Barrister Ologu, I want you to flow, to quickly land safely, concerning the issue of so that I don't crash land, the issue of policy. And why we've been having it bad, not in terms of not implementation, before we now go to the issue of winner takes all. But I trust you. You can just marry the two together. You are a pastor, so you can just do a marriage of the two topics.
You know, so for time, let's just migrate to this win-win situation,
Yes.
which is the opposite of winners take it all.
Yes.
And I must point to some good actions
Yes.
during this government that can clearly spell out what we mean by win-win situation. The Niger Bridge
Yes.
was constructed, I think, in 1965.
Yes.
Then the Civil War started in 1967, which was partly damaged. And the second Niger Bridge has been an ongoing project. And interestingly, President Muhammadu Buhari's regime has completed, at least in the interim, that bridge is now open for people to enjoy. You see, and that is anti-nepotism. Because all the business axes in Nigeria are connected.
Yes.
By the grace of God, I've been to all parts of this country, from Arochukwu to Maiduguri to Arugungu to Augi to, I've been around. So we have great people and great resources. We have food all around, and that's why security is important. So it's like Nigeria must develop. It's like what you say in the US. You get to Colombia, you say, wow. You get to New York City, you just stand there and watch, and you are
get lost.
Exactly. You get to Washington DC.
That one, forget.
You know, so
The structures.
24/7 electricity. You know, things like that. In fact, California has the license of driving the 6th biggest economies in the world.
Don't talk of Chicago.
As a state. You see, so you have healthy competition.
Yes.
So a win-win situation, not winners take it all, for example, we make us to look in the direction of this state policing we are talking about. Look at Lagos State. I stepped back recently and I looked at what has happened. You know, by in a way, in a very quiet way, it's like Lagos has a state police system. You have the last mile, you have these people, even though they still need to refine their operations and everything. You can see the BLT project and things like that. So if the states in Nigeria focus on how can we make life more meaningful for our citizens, we have this win-win situation. You know, at a time, historically, the children going abroad to study were children who could not cope with the Nigerian standard.
Yes. Yes.
And who could not pass.
Yes.
So to cover that shame for the family, you sent them abroad. Today the reverse is the case. In fact, the vice president as acting president came out with something reported on the 7th of July 2017, if I'm right, you can go and check it, that about 129 billion naira is spent by Nigerians on education in the UK annually, because we have not, through the win-win scenario, upgraded our academic system. Why? Because some may not be interested in education. That's the truth. We have some who are not interested in education.
True.
They are interested. Look at when we started Hadass Farmers Clash. That is a winner takes it all.
Yes.
The two of them cohabit to generate prosperity. When you talk about ranching, in fact, the waste from the cattle will serve as manure for the vegetables. You see, so it's like you can have a symbiotic relationship. And that's why I love public relations. It's saying a deliberate and planned effort to create and sustain mutual understanding for mutual benefit. So we have not come to that point to realize that, irrespective of my political party inclination, I am to serve the people. I am to make life better.
The people come first.
And people come first. And so when we break that down, it will help us. And look at Paul Kagame of Rwanda. The man achieved it. Rwanda went into a senseless war, killing, and thank God for the women who held forth. That no, we will not go there. And Paul Kagame came to profile it and say, what is the problem here? So one of the first things done was to abolish ethnicity. It became like a crime. You cannot claim to come from any ethnic region. We are Rwandans, and today is one of the fastest growing economies in Africa.
Now going back, is that not possible in Nigeria?
It is possible.
Because you see some people, I'm a Yoruba man, hey, I'm an Hausa man, and we see ourselves in that regard converged. And of course, when it comes to, I guess again, delving into this topic, it creates a win-win situation. If we remove ethnicity, we don't see ourselves as coming from one tribe
or the other.
Definitely, ethnicity is pronounced when there is perceived oppression.
Oppression and injustice.
So it's come a long way, and we cannot deny it.
So another policy we can pursue is removing injustice in the system.
Let there be justice and let there be meritocracy. It's one of the magics of Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. So let the best hand be there, not because you are from Southwest or South, from anywhere. You know, meritocracy. Because I have complained in the past. I mean, and it has not worked for us. So we must begin to find out what will connect us with the greatness we desire so much. Look at quota system. It was a wrong system to say that students from some region must score 300 to gain admission, and some must score 50. Already you are making them lazy. You are making them lazy. Let's be practical here. 50. I do not feel oppressed in any way, and that is personal to me. Now, I did the research. The 10 poorest states in Nigeria. The perception of the people is that the Northerners are oppressing. I do not buy into that. I'm not oppressed. You see, if you sit down to look at it, I did a profile of the 10 poorest states. Only Ebonyi State featured from the south. The poorest is South Koto State, followed by Katsina State, which is the state of the president. So when you break it down, really, it's not because, you know, so it's now a matter of using that political influence to help. And maybe that will happen if indeed the oil that has not been discovered between Gombe and Yobe State can be maximized. What language does oil speak? Oil does not speak any language. Go to the US. The US has at least 130 functional refineries creating wealth. And when you go to if you go to Midland in Texas, where you have oil activities, you don't talk about oil spillage and things like that. There is a system that says the host community must benefit. I spoke about Rwanda. Rwanda generated, I think, about $400 million from tourism, I think in 2018. And what do they do in Rwanda? The community where the gorillas are, that people come to watch, they partner, they share from the revenue. So as the government is making money, they share with them. So they are the ones protecting that business. Unlike our place where people just come and slaughter farmers, you know, where a governor of Niger State came out to say, out of about 25 local government, bandits have taken over 12 local governments. And we say we have a government. These are issues. So Nigerian project towards prosperity is possible if we, and a man said, if you change your thinking, you will change your situations. Ask yourself, since I have been defending my territory so tenaciously, what have I benefited? There is a better strength in Commonwealth. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo traveled to Ekiti recently, and he said he got there late and was apologizing because of bad roads. I was ashamed. I made reference to the fact that Nigeria has the second largest deposit of bitumen in the world. Between Ondo State, Edo, and that axis, you have bitumen that even swam out of the water to the surface. And we are talking of bad roads. If you travel from Akure to Ado-Ekiti through Ikere and ask a friend to go with you for any event, that friend may not greet you for 3 months. If at all he gets to Ado-Ekiti and returns to Lagos, he may not pick your calls. So we were asking recently, tell us the cause of fuel scarcity. Different kinds of arguments. Some said bad roads to move. So where is the massive infrastructure that the Abacha loot and the Sukuk and everything has been transmitted into? So we need to come to the point where you realize that commonwealth supersedes selfish wealth
and interest.
Now we are reading people who have packed money is wasting.
Okay, but Barrister, I want to ask the question first. You know, we're talking about winners take it all syndrome in Nigeria. That's more like will I say it's a disease or like an infection, whatever, however I'll put it. So what is the solution to this syndrome?
The solution is reorientation. I mentioned that if you change your thinking, you change your circumstances. You know, when I became the chairman of NIPR Lagos State chapter, one of my best hands in that team was from the opposition party. But I saw his diligence. Prince, great man.
And you brought him in.
We are here to achieve results.
True.
Jesus knew that Judas was going to betray him.
Yes.
He served him Holy Communion.
And was even telling him
that take, eat, friend. How many of us can do that?
Right.
I mean, my position then when I was contesting, because we had meetings, oh, can you step down? I said, I cannot step down because the election means there are more than one participant.
Yeah.
So let's go out there. If I lose, I lose. I will continue to support the institute and things like that. So when you realize that it's a privilege and opportunity, then again, if we can deal with sycophancy.
Okay.
Aisha Buhari said quite a number of those who came to hijack her husband's regime did not even participate in the process of winning the election. If you know that, then correct it. You must have a blueprint. You made promises. Then look at those who will help you to achieve. That is what we call management by objective, as propounded by Peter Drucker. You know, you set smart goals. Goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. You see, and now there won't be the need to be saying you hope to be recorded on the golden side of history. Nelson Mandela never made that pronouncement. He automatically landed. I would be so sad if this regime goes down in history as the bloodiest regime where citizens are slaughtered. And do you know ECOWAS gave a report on how much has been mobilized in billions of naira in ransom taken in this country? You see, and yet Ghana dislodged these headsmen just like that. And when we were talking again about policies and polity and everything, a leader was telling us the proliferation of ammunition from Libya, and I said, why didn't they take the ammunition to Rwanda, to Ghana, to Benin Republic? So why Nigeria? Because we are receptive. American government came to rescue a citizen that was kidnapped in a foreign country and brought to Nigeria, breaching diplomatic protocols. And that is how important the citizen's life is to America. And on the lighter mood, you must have read about what Saudi Arabia did when they won one of the matches, the World Cup going on in Qatar now. You know, I think it was Rolls Royce that they gave to the players. Look at
celebration,
Qatar had a plan to host the World Cup, and they constructed the first air-conditioned stadium. And we are not really about embezzlement, about abandoned projects. That is a sound policy. That's our sound policies, polity and policies. The polity means in our own political community, this is the standard we set. And a wise man said, the results you achieve in life are based on the standard you set for yourself. So we want to see a Nigeria where a group of people, no matter who they are, we just be stealing our oil. Is he a roadside engineer that will construct pipes to the ocean?
I'm happy you went there because I was discussing with some people before the World Cup. I said the Qatar will give us the first air-conditioned stadium. They said it's not possible. I said, okay, those are people who are serious. Can we be that serious in this country?
Sir, can I break down the policy of Qatar?
Barrister, I really, yes. But you know, if you notice today, I'm quite, it's as if I'm not talking, because you know when you say you're learning, I am really learning and enjoying everything. But you know what, I want to even read just 2 messages from our viewers. May not be as say we don't read anything, you know. So this says, thank you, Barrister, for your positive enlightenment. I'm enjoying this, from Godwin at Onitsha. And that says, okay, this one says actually that I don't think election in some part of Nigeria is because of hardship and no rule of law. This is Zola from Onitsha. They actually believe that election is not okay. They don't believe election is because of or maybe rigging of election or violence is not because of hardship or the rule of law. They believe it's something else.
Meanwhile, we're expecting your messages. Just send it.
Yes.
Don't call us. The number is the
They
same
keep calling. There are some very good customers on that.
Please, okay, maybe what we'll do, we'll block your number. Then you'll not be able to call. You won't be able to send text.
No, we will not block you. We won't block you. You're very welcome. You see, okay, so yes, you want to say something?
When you talk about elections, the politicians, when the system permits them, they go all out to manipulate if they want to. But if you look at one of the things this regime has done to amend the Electoral Act of 2010, we now have the amended version of 2022. And if you look at Section 117, it frowns at vote buying with about 1 million naira fine, 12 months imprisonment or both. Yes. But do we have the rule of law where everyone is subject to the laws of the land? So it's like, it may be like you are asking a cat to go and regulate the activities of a tiger. So some people can walk and ride on the faces of the law and nothing happens. So, and where there are no consequences, you cannot checkmate. So we need to implement our law.
The consequences must be very clear,
you know,
and of course actionable.
Yes, sir. I was going to reveal some of the political policy tactics of Qatar. You know, I was coming back to Nigeria and we stopped over in Abu Dhabi, and I met some Nigerians coming from Qatar to Nigeria, and because we were waiting for the next flight, I got discussing with them as a researcher, and I was amazed. Many of them who went to Qatar were groomed. Is it tiles that you want to get involved in? They will train you to be highly skilled because they had projects and give you the financial support. But they planned to indigenize their processes after a while. So you can see a nation willing to develop. How we can adopt this template. So it's all about a project that must be accomplished. You see? So when we talk of this vote buying and everything, what Australia did in 1856 was to introduce the secret ballot system to prevent all this vote buying. You know, then I think UK rolled in 1872, America in 1892. But then in Nigeria at a time, and it's a matter of what we permit, we had this option A4 in 1993, the election of MKO, where candidates could queue behind the impression of their, you know, voters could queue, you know, so, and people went out to vote. So what has gone wrong? Why do we have all this desperation? It's because there are no consequences. There are electoral offenses. Almost all of them were committed in 2019. I monitored keenly. But what about the consequences?
No consequence, okay.
And where there are no consequences, definitely it's just do as you like.
Everything will happen.
Exactly. So there is great hope for this nation. It's just, and it's all about leadership. I've mentioned Kagame, I've mentioned Nelson Mandela, I've mentioned Lee Kuan Yew. We can go on and on and on, because the citizen has not, you know, when you set the direction,
yes,
the citizens will definitely.
Okay, because of time.